Shares of Philip Morris higher today, even as the company reported growth of its IQOS devices being crimped by the global semiconductor shortage. Supply is set to remain tight into the first half of 2022. Here to discuss the results is Jacek Olczak, Philip Morris International CEO. And Jacek, it's we've been talking about this for a couple days. It's so interesting that a big tobacco company has a chip shortage issue, but of course, as we move into the electronic smoking age, you need these things. How much of a crimp is this putting on your future sales outlook?
Hi, so it's happy to be here. Yes, I mean, who would think that the tobacco industry one day will depend on electronics? But if you want to make a better product, safer products, actual electronics are in the core of the propositions. I mean, due to electronics, you control the temperature, then you control the content of the aerosol, etc. So this is very, a critical element of our new business. So on the one hand, we're heading into having a very spectacular year. I mean, you've heard yesterday we narrow our revenue guidance growth 6.5% to 7%, pretty strong, even if this is coming out of the weaker COVID year. But we're very pleased with the results. But the fact of life is that the shortage of semiconductors actually hampers our full abilities. I mean, we cannot really conduct the full commercial and competitive activities as normally we would do. And over the last few months already, we could see that it starts having an impact on our business. So despite the fact that we are, about to deliver a very strong results for the full year, we know now that we could have actually even a better results if not the shortages. Now, how long it's going to last? Yep. That's, I guess, the question which many CEOs in other industries are being confronted with. And the truth is that the more you ask this question, the less of the visibility of what is the right answer you have, right? Because some people tell you it's a Q1 event, maybe Q1 and a Q2, maybe it's going to extend beyond the second half of next year. So there's a lot of dark type of scenarios, and I hope that the solutions will be there. That this crunch, this bottleneck around the semiconductors, and in general about the very stretched post-COVID supply chain is going to be resolved. I'm very much.
Jacek, how much future nicotine intake is going to be IQOS, heats, teeps? How much is going to be vaping, steam? I mean, is this, I remember when we were talking about the car alternative power car battle, was it going to be hydrogen or batteries? Now, battery power won out there. Is there going to be one winner in the future of smoking?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's always the technologies, the innovation. The most important is that there is a growing and rapidly growing market for the alternatives. More people are getting aware about the products. More people understand that this is a better choice than a continuing smoking. So there's a lot of stars are being aligned which supports this rapid growth of this market. I mean, when I always use the comparison 5-6 years ago when we started in Japan, there were no alternatives. Today, the market is essentially almost 1/3 of the total market. 5-6 years for the mature category like a cigarette, so many consumers moving to the new category is very fast development. I actually think we at the very beginning of observing the end of a combustible smoking, which I believe would is the best thing which can happen for the individual smokers, for the society, for the public health community, and also for the companies who walk the talk, put the money behind the innovations, and seriously wanted to solve the problem. So I think actually these changes will go very fast because the consumers are actually looking more and more into these things. You will have a room for electronic cigarettes. You will have a room for the heat-not-burn products. And definitely there will be also a room on other forms of a non-combustible nicotine delivery. Combustion is the problem. We all know it. And the consumers quite rightly more and more is looking for any other forms of non-combustible products, non-combustible products.
When do these non-combustible products start to get into the zeitgeist in terms of marketing? I grew up watching Sean Connery as James Bond smoking a cigarette, or Steve McQueen lighting one up. I don't see the same thing happening these days, certainly not in film or on the racetrack with IQOS or vaping or these other methods of delivery.
Yes, I mean, look, attitudes towards the, nicotine and the tobacco and the smoking has obviously changed over the last few decades. And, when we go and activate the brand's propositions like IQOS, like a Heat Not Burn and other platforms which we have, we also have to be very careful with which of the, marketing media and the channels we select. Because on the other hand, nobody wants to trigger the unintended consequences, which is, very obviously is the youth underage people usage of this product. The product is designed and it should be marketed to adult smokers. So not necessarily, some of the examples which you gave might be most appropriate. But on the other hand, you have a growing penetration of this product, and they essentially penetrate day-to-day life of smokers who are no longer smokers. They just move to this product. So, we're not running that active, that sort of a marketing, product placement of those similars. It's more important that the consumer is well informed about, on the one hand, the risk of smoking, on the other hand, why these alternatives are better. They are not risk-free, we have to remember, but also consumers should know that, these products are a better choice. So
Got it.